Stay humble. Stay positive. Serve people. My top 3 from the big Brian Tracy. This is Cállate y Vende. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gerardo Rodriguez, and I am your friendly neighborhood sales guy or sales trainer or whatever you want to call it. And back with another episode, completely English spoken, which to me is like a very big deal and a huge challenge. But hey, huge challenge it is, a huge episode it is. We have as a very special guest in this episode, and by special I really mean special, and by really special I mean very special. Cheche, please give us like a couple of special effects, so we can really get down on this really special guest. Brian Tracy, everybody, is here in this episode. I'll get to share with you my top takeaways with this tremendous conversation that I had with him. I had the enormous pleasure and the enormous honor to share a special event here in TJ, in Tijuana, Mexico, a couple of weeks ago. Back in October, we shared, as I said, a forum. Brian Tracy closed the show, and a couple of speakers before. I did my own thing with the cabrones de las ventas and the people from Cállate y Vende. So this was a very special night for me. I got to meet my hero. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my conversation with the Captain America of Sales, el señor Brian Tracy. Estoy nada más y nada menos es un profundo honor para mí este momento. Estoy frente a Brian Tracy, es un héroe para mí, es un enorme mentor y tengo el profundo honor de poder hablar con esta persona. Acabo de bajarme de mi conferencia, van a escuchar un cuate demasiado emocionado, con la voz casi quebrada porque es un momento tan emotivo para mí que bueno. I'm here with Brian. Brian, I don't think you need any introduction, sir, but I don't know, to the people who have been living in a cave for the last 40 years, how would you define yourself as Brian Tracy? Who is Brian Tracy?
Well, basically, I am a helper. I help people achieve their goals faster than they would without my help. And I started off in sales. First of all, I became successful in sales myself, and then I helped other salespeople. I've probably trained more than 2 million salespeople, maybe 3 million, in 86 countries. And what I do is I give them tools, as you do. If you take these tools and you apply these tools, then you make more sales. If you make more sales, you earn more money. Then you can take care of your family and you can have a good life. And so it's an upward spiral. But always it's to help people to achieve their goals faster than they would without my help.
Why?
Well, because I get a tremendous sense of happiness in helping other people. I started off with nothing, with no money, no education. I was working on a farm when I was 23 years old. And then I got into sales. And in sales, I failed because I didn't know how to do it. And I began to learn how to sell. And as I learned how to sell, I earned more money. As I earned more money, it gave me a feeling of happiness. And soon I was given other salespeople to teach. And so I taught them the same things I had learned, and their sales went up, and they became successful. I have friends who I started teaching when I was 24 years old, and these people are now rich today. They own many companies. Some are billionaires, actual billionaires, and they've told me this, that the lessons that they learned from me at an early time in their career changed their lives forever. And that makes me happy.
People, especially young people, are always looking for a hack,
a quick way, a quick fix in order to do things, a quick way up to the top. And as I've learned from people like you, people who made it big, people who talk like you, talk about helping others achieving their own goals. What can you say to the young people out there who are looking for the quick fix?
Well, there are no shortcuts for success. When I was starting in selling many years ago, and I had been working for about 3 or 4 years, a woman told me that it takes 7 years to be successful in any career. And I had read hundreds of books by that time, and smart people, the best people in the world, all said the same thing. It takes a long time. And so I said, well, it's not going to take me 7 years because I am better, I'm smarter, I will find a faster, easier way. But it took me 7 years. And so I learned a technique, and it's very simply this, is it takes you 2 years to learn your work. And if you're starting a business especially, it takes you 2 years to stop losing money. And then in the next 2 years, you pay back the money. You start to make profits and you pay back the money you lost in the first 2 years. And then in the next 3 years, you become excellent at what you do. And it takes 7 years. It's 7 years, 2 years, 4 years, 7 years. And so you cannot find a way to do it. Even Bill Gates or Warren Buffett or the richest people in the world spent 7 years to break through and to be successful. So the way that you can speed up the breakthrough is by study, by learning everything that you can, reading everything that you can, asking advice from the people who are more successful than you. And it's the most wonderful thing is people who are successful are always open to helping you, to giving you advice. If you say to a person, give me your time, they'll say, I'm too busy. If you ask a person, can I have your advice? They will stop everything and they will give you advice. They will help you. And so what I did is when I started to become successful, I began to teach other people. And people came to me, sometimes from all over the world, to learn how to be more successful faster. And so I defined my life. People say, what is your mission statement? My mission statement is to help people achieve their goals faster than they would if they did not have my help. And so the starting point of almost every course, every seminar that I do is I ask people, what are your goals? What is it that you really want to accomplish in your life? And let's be clear about that. My favorite word is the word clarity. Clarity is you have to be very clear about what it is you really, really want. Then you have to say, and what are you going to have to do to achieve it? And so I could spend a whole day here today, but I would say, once you're clear about your goal, then you have to ask yourself, what skills do you need to have to achieve that goal? What do you need to be very, very good at? Because all of life is competition. And so you help people to identify their most important skill. Here's a great question, a couple of questions. And these questions are life-changing. Question number one is that if you could wave a magic wand and overnight you could achieve any goal in life, any one goal, what one goal would help you the most to be successful and happy? What is the goal? And then how do you measure it? Because every goal has to have a number. Then the question number two is that if you could wave a magic wand and you could become absolutely excellent in any one skill, what one skill would help you the very most to achieve your most important goal? What's the skill? And there's always one skill. The skills change over time. Over time, you will master a skill, and then you'll put that aside and then pick the next skill. And then another question that you can ask, which is life just changes lives all over the world, is once you're clear about your goal, and so I will say, let us say that your goal is to double your income. If you want to make a lot of money, start off by doubling your income, let's say in the next year. Okay. And what is the one skill that will help you, and so on. Then the next question is, what sets the speed at which you double your income. What holds you back? What is there out there in your world or in yourself that's holding you back from developing your most important skill, from achieving your most important goal? And these are wonderful questions because people always know the answer. In your heart, you know the answer. What's the answer? What's the goal? What's the skill? And what is holding you back? And then what you do is you just go to work on, you just work on them every day. And as you develop this skill of determining what you want and developing the skills and removing the obstacles, you start to get better and better. And as you improve, it's almost like a form of drug. As you improve, it makes you happy. It makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you laugh. When you're good at what you do, you want to do more of it. And so you get onto a spiral. You're constantly getting better and achieving more and getting better. And soon you can go from the bottom to the top. I developed a very simple formula, which I may share when I get a chance to speak today. It's a very simple formula. I call it my 10 times formula. How do you increase your income 10 times? And I developed that when I was young and poor. And I began to practice it myself. And and for me, it doubled my income. For everybody that I taught it to, they doubled their income and then doubled it again and then increased their income 10 times. So I'll share it later. It's just simply a process of continuous learning where you just get better and better and you earn more and more and you get better and better and earn more and more. And it's very simple. It's called the law of incremental improvement. In other words, you don't transform your world overnight. You just get a little bit better every day, a little bit better. And Albert Einstein said, the greatest miracle in the universe is the miracle of compounding. And so if you're getting better at a skill, you compound and you get even better. And you get even better. And you get even better. And if you keep on working, eventually you can achieve all your goals.
I have one final question for you before I close this up. We live in Mexico. We live in Latin America. People from all over Latin America will hear you, will hear this. And a lot of them are thinking, yeah, but this is a third world country. We're a poor country, corruption everywhere, violence. If you don't mind me saying, like, you come from America, everything there is easier. Like, there's a lot of excuses. There's a lot of, if you don't mind my saying, and I'm placing comillas al aire, a lot of reasons not to achieve what you want because of all the corruption, the violence, and whatnot. No. So, what would be your message for the people that have those particular challenges?
Well, there are things that you can do something about. You can change them. And there are things that you cannot change. And you cannot change the political structure of a country. I have spent thousands of hours in study and travel, studying different companies, different countries, to learn why some countries are more successful than others. And we could spend a lot of time talking about that. But you don't worry about things that you can't change. You say, well, these are built into the system, going back to colonial days. But what can you change? Well, you can change the basics. And I've looked at your material, and the basics is you serve people at a higher level, at a better level. You help them to achieve their goals faster. And as a result, because of competition, they prefer your products or services to someone else. And so what you do is focus on what you can do. And you can help people. You can become excellent at what you do. The greatest problem in Latin America, the greatest problem in third world countries, is people sort of give up. They have what is called a fatalistic attitude. They say, there's no use, there's nothing I can do. I have spoken in almost every country in Latin America. I've spoken in almost every country in the world. And I have, again, as I said, read thousands of hours. And you'll find that the people who are successful are people who say, nothing will stop me from being successful. I just put aside the limitations in our system and they will find a way. And if you, as you are, and as your graduates, your students are, you will find a way to be successful. And in every country that I've worked in, there are people who started with nothing who are millionaires and multimillionaires and even billionaires today. And those people simply said, no, I will not be stopped by the system. I will find a way to go around the system. So this fatalistic idea, this thing that I'm helpless, I'm hapless, in psychology they call it learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is people grow up and they are taught by their parents and their teachers and others that they are helpless, that they can't change the system. There's no use. And so they accept that and they pull back on themselves and they just don't work that hard and they quit earlier and they don't work hard during the week. And the ones who do, the people who put that aside, these people go straight through the middle and accomplish marvelous things. In every third world country, whether it's in Africa or Latin America, in every third world country, there are people who are extremely successful. And there are people who started from nothing and became extremely successful. If you go to America or one of the first world countries, you will see people say the same thing. Well, there's too much competition, and it's too difficult to succeed, and I don't have any money, and I don't have a good education, and I don't have connections or friends, and so what's the use? And they'll always give you excuses for not trying, which are the same excuses that they use in third world countries.
Brian, I just want to tell you that I honor you, that I thank you for all you have done for us salespeople, for all the people out there, and all the countries, and all the persons that you have helped achieve their own goals. I just want to thank you on behalf of the ones that can hear me right now in Latin America. As well, I want to honor your wife, your lovely wife today. I honor you, and I honor what you both do. I wouldn't be the man I am without my wife, and I sure as hell would bet on it that you wouldn't be also. So I honor you both. And
I honor you too, because in the face of all the reasons why not, you have risen above it, and you set your own goals, and you have refused to be held back by external circumstances. So the best message that you teach is that you can do it. You can do anything you put your mind to. You have no limits. You can be a big success if you simply decide to become a big success. Nothing can stop you except yourself. And you keep repeating that, and one person will hear it. And I meet people all over the world who had the same mindset that you had. My wife and I both came from poor families, and they said, no, I am not going to be held back by the limitations of the past. I am going to be a big success. And so your job and my job is to tell people that you are going to be a big success in life. I told my children that from the time they were young. You're going to be a big success in life. You're going to be a big success in life. You just program it in. You just repeat it over and over. And at a certain point, it locks in, and nothing can stop them. So that's your job, and my job is to help people change the way they think about themselves and then get out of the way.
thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Great stuff. Great stuff. So just in case that you didn't get the whole idea, I made my homework and I did my top takeaways with him just to close this show. All right. So point number 1, Brian Tracy defined himself as a helper, and talked about the upward spiral. So what is this upward spiral? It is to help people achieve their own goals, and as they do that, they will help other people achieve their own goals, and creating this positive spiral, so to speak. And this would really make a good, powerful and positive impact in our world, and God knows that we need it. And also, I really like the way that Brian defined himself as happy when he does that, when he helps people achieve their own goals. That makes me happy, said Brian. And I really like that, because in order to help ourselves, we should help other people. And I think that Brian Tracy defines that perfectly. So point number 2, there are no shortcuts for success. People are always looking, especially young people, especially centennials, Generation C, millennials. We are always looking for a hack. We're always looking for a short way to do things and to achieve the most positive outcome, but with the minimum effort, right? So I really love the way that Brian tells us as it is, that there are no shortcuts for success. In order to have success, you have to work hard. You have to have clarity, which is another point further down the list. And I kind of liked that 7 years for success in any career. I kind of like that. I've never heard of such a thing, but it makes perfect sense if you think of it. It's not like anybody has become successful overnight. For instance, in my own conference, in my own speaking, what I do, I put my own book, which is an Amazon bestseller. It became an Amazon bestseller in less than 24 hours. Within the first 24 hours that it got published on Amazon, it became an Amazon bestseller. So, and people are always asking me, Gerardo, what did you do? How did you get to become an Amazon bestseller in less than 24 hours? And the secret that is not so secret is we worked our asses off for 3 years in a row. So not exactly the 7 years to be completely successful, but in all fairness, with Brian's words, I myself do not define me as the great success. So I define myself that I'm in a sure as hell a good road. I am heading that way, but I don't get that 100% fulfillment or 100% certainty that I'm this great success and I'm the example. So in all fairness, I think that I still have 4 years to go, and I appreciate Brian's words. So 7 years, 7 hard-working years in order to become successful in any career that you want. Point number 3, people who are successful will always help other people. And that makes perfect sense, but it's so stupid at the same time, because we as a community, especially in Latin America, we tend to think that successful people, especially millionaires, are so self-focused, right? They don't want to help. They do not think about their neighbors, and they're bad people. Yes, we as an average Latin Americans tend to think of that, of rich people and successful people that way. So, and I like how Brian, in all his simplicity, tells us otherwise. Successful people try to make other people successful as well. Then again, the upward spiral, this positive thingy going on, right? Positive impact in your community and the people around you and the young people that are following you, right? So that makes perfect sense. So what my advice would be, in order to appreciate or to take something out of these words, my advice would be to ask successful people for advice. Don't ask them for handouts. Don't ask them for money. Don't ask them for a work or a job. Ask them for advice. Successful people always will have an advice for you if you ask them. And for crying out loud, take action. Take action regarding that advice that you just received. Point number 4, Brian's favorite word. Brian's favorite word, clarity. And I dig this tremendously. You have to be very clear on what it is that you want, amiga, amigo. And to have this, Brian has this special formula, very simple. Take number 1. if you would have a magic wand in order to achieve your goal, what would you have to do? What would be the first thing you would wave around this magic wand and ask for? What would you have to do to achieve that goal and feel successful, right? So have clarity on that top one. And then the number two, what skill would you need? Again, with the magic wand thing. If you would have this magic wand, you wave it around, and I need this skill to become this successful and achieve these goals. I need this, and then you wave the magic wand. What would that skill be? So you now have clarity on what it is that you want. And it's very important that you have metrics, numbers. You need to measure that goal, right? So remember, SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So keep up with the SMART goal thingy right there. So what it is that you want? What is that goal? SMART goal. And again, and number two, what skill do you need in order to achieve that goal? Okay, have clarity on number one and number two, and then you're halfway there, buddy. Last but not least, put aside limitations. I really love the simplicity of Brian's words, and I really liked his final words. You can become a big success if you simply decide to become a big success. Nothing can stop you, except, of course, your own damn self. Are you willing to let yourself go? Are you willing to achieve what it is that you want to achieve? Are you willing to let go of fears? Are you willing to let go of your own damn comfort zone in order to achieve those goals? Now that you have clarity, now that you know what to do. One last thing before I close the show. And this to me was a huge honor. I got to meet my mentor. I got to meet my own personal hero, and I have to say I was shocked. I had huge. I was expecting huge things to happen when I would shake Brian's hand and talk to him, right? So my expectations were pretty damn high. But you know what? They were not even in the ballpark. Brian hit a home run. And you know how he did it? He was humble. He was humble enough. If you rewind and hear what Brian said at the beginning of the interview when he told I do the same of what you do, which is help people achieve their own goals, and I remember thinking why are you comparing me? I am no way at the same level as Zebra and Tracy. I am in no way. We're not in the same ballpark, buddy. What are you talking about? That kind of humbleness, it's from another planet. And in that second, I understood why Brian Tracy is a huge success that he is. He stays humble. He stays hungry. He stays happy serving people, achieving their own goals faster than they would do by themselves, right? Stay that way. Stay humble. Stay positive. Stay growing. And serve people. Thank you very much. So this is Cállate y Vende. I am closing the show right now. If you want to follow me on social, you can find me at Instagram and Facebook at Cabrón de las Ventas. That is at Cabrón de las Ventas. Only Spanish speaking post and content over there, but hey, we can sure as hell do a couple of them in English. So it wouldn't be a perfect English, but we can sure as hell try, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me, all right? So hit me up on social, send me a DM. If you like this, rate it 5 stars at Apple Podcasts. Do your thing. Holla at me, at Cabrón de las Ventas, and I'll see you on the next episode.